This video explores a constitutional rivalry, a challenge, and a nation's answer, focusing on the story of the Simon Commission and the Nehru Report. The story begins with the Government of India Act of 1919, also known as the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms. This act increased Indian participation in the administration.
Status is not yet granted. This act forms the clear basis for your future constitution.
The Simon Commission was appointed earlier than expected, in 1927 instead of 1929, by Lord Birkenhead. It was led by Sir John Simon and included 7 British members of Parliament. Its critical flaw was that no Indian members were included. Excluding Indians was a great insult. Lord Birkenhead, defending the all-British composition, challenged Indian leaders, stating that they were incapable of creating a unified constitution. He challenged them to, quote, produce a report on the subject. Indian leaders completely rejected the Simon Commission, leading to a nationwide boycott. When the commission arrived in February 1928, protests and demonstrations erupted across the country, with slogans like, "Simon, go back." Indian leaders accepted Lord Birkenhead's challenge. At the Madras session of the Congress in December 1927, they decided not to cooperate with the Simon Commission. They also resolved to form an all-party conference to draft an Indian constitution. The all-party conference formed a committee, headed by Motilal Nehru. The report prepared by this committee is known as the Nehru Report. Its objective was to propose constitutional reforms for India and answer the British challenge. The Simon Commission, appointed by the British government, faced protests and boycotts. In contrast, the Nehru Committee, formed by the All-Party Conference, drafted a constitution written by Indians themselves. During a protest against the Simon Commission in Lahore, Lala Lajpat Rai was severely injured in a police lathi charge ordered by Officer James Scott. Rai succumbed to his injuries on November 17, 1928, further fueling the national struggle. The Nehru Report recommended, quote, dominion status for India. However, young leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhas Chandra Bose were dissatisfied, advocating instead for Purna Swaraj, or complete independence. Despite internal differences, Motilal Nehru presented the final report in December 1928 at the Calcutta Congress session, where it was accepted by a majority vote. A clear deadline was given to the British government to accept the report by December 31, 1929. The Indian side submitted the Nehru Report by the end of 1928. The Simon Commission, after visiting India in 1929, published its own report in 1930. The British government now faced 2 competing reports for India's constitutional future. Instead of selecting one report, the British government proposed 3 roundtable conferences. These conferences brought together British and Indian representatives to discuss both reports. It is said that these conferences ultimately served to reduce the significance of the challenge. 3 roundtable conferences were held between 1930 and 1932. Based on these discussions, the Government of India Act of 1935 was introduced. Most provisions in this act came from the Simon Commission's report, with only a few elements from the Nehru Report included. The Nehru Report, though initially superseded, remained significant as an early, crucial step by Indians toward drafting their own constitution. Many of its details served as a foundation for the constitution of modern India, a response to a challenge and a defining constitutional aspiration.